Hello everyone, welcome to class 7th History. Children, this is history's first chapter whose name is Tracing Changes in the Medieval Period. Up to class 6th you read about ancient period. Okay. Now this time in 7th class you will be dealing with the middle time period, means the medieval India. Let's see first of all about this timeline which is given over here. Like last year you read about ancient history which was from 600 up to the AD 600. Okay, the green part which is being shown here with the medieval history, this is the thing which you are going to read in this present class of 7th. Okay, after the death of Harshvardhan up to the time period of the decline of Mughal emperors. All these things regarding the medieval history is the present content of reading in class 7th. Okay, as you all aware very well with the history's importance, that why it is being read by the students, only because of the reason that it is important record of events of the past, a meaningful story of mankind depicting the details of what happened to man in all their aspects in the life of a social group. And that's why we read history. And here the question arises that what does the word medieval mean in history? Means like in your class 7th, the word medieval, what does it mean? It simply means the middle part. Means first part is the ancient, third part is the modern period, and the middle part means the second period is known as the middle or the medieval period. The historians have divided these three periods, what you have read in the 6th class, and this time you are going to read about the second period, that means the medieval period. Okay, now this medieval period is also divided into two categories. Means first category is known as early medieval period. The early medieval period dates from the 8th century to the 13th century. Keep in mind all the children, 8th century to the 13th century. That is between 700 and 1200 AD. The powerful kingdoms of the Palas, Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and the Rajputs ruled during this period. This is known as the early medieval period. Then comes the late medieval period, or you can say the later medieval period. And it is from the time period of 1200 to 1750 AD. The rule of the Turk, Afghan, and the Mughals comes within this period. So, overall, medieval period is from 8th century up to the time period of the 18th century, and in between these two we are having the early medieval and the late medieval period, okay, which has been described over here in a timeline. Now let's see the first topic. What does the mean of old and new terminologies? So India was known in the past as Bharatvash, the land of the Bharats. The secret book of the Parsis, the Zend Avesta, talks about Sapt Sindhu, or the land of seven rivers. In the early 16th century, Babar used the term Hindustan to describe the flora, fauna, and culture of the inhabitants living in the subcontinent. Let's see now. Importance of medieval history means what is the importance of this, that why we are reading so in this 7th class. Firstly, this was a period of great mobility. Mobility means lot of changes appeared. Coming and in going means people traveled long distance in search of opportunities. The later medieval period saw the rise of Mughal dynasties, and this gave rise to a culture that was truly Indian. The Muslim rulers provided political stability for many centuries, and because of this reason, towns and cities also developed. Overseas trade flourished. This resulted in cultural and religious influences. And of course, spread of Islam and the Bhakti and Sufi movements were some of the important highlights of this period. And lastly, art and architecture showcased a splendor like never before. Means during this period only we were having the construction of the Qutub Minar, Taj Mahal, Jama Masjid, and all the eminent buildings with which we are known all over the world also. Now, what are the different sources by which we come to know that this was made during the medieval period? Okay, so these are the two sources, like archaeological sources, which includes inscriptions, monuments, paintings, and coins, and literary sources, which includes autobiographies and biographies, chronologicals, means chronicles, and travelogues. All these things we will be studying in detail. Okay, let's see first of all inscriptions. Inscriptions are writings engraved on hard surfaces like metal, rock, and stone. They are an important source of information about India's past. And of course, the study of inscriptions is known as epigraphy. Some of the pictures are being shown here, which we have got from the archaeological sources. Now, let's see monuments. Monuments means the buildings. Monuments like tombs, fort, mosque, and temples provide a lot of information on various aspects. They tell us not only of the religious practices but also about the political, economic, and social conditions of that time. Mosques like Jama Masjid in Delhi, forts like those at Delhi, Gwalior, Agra, and Mandu, etc., are really praiseworthy, which were constructed during the time period of the medieval. Now let's see the paintings. Paintings are an important source of information. They illustrate the artistic progress of the time. They also tell us about the nature of society, means the way of dressing, the customs followed, the important events, and the life of the common people. You can see here in different patterns the paintings were there, and these are known as the Mughal paintings, where we were having the side faces to be more prominent in making so. Now let's see about the coins. So what are the coins? Like presently you are having the coins, in the same way in the medieval time period also we were having the coins, which help us to identify the names and ruling periods of kings. Coins are pieces of metal that are used as money. They also help us in knowing the extent of the empires, and the presence of coins in foreign lands indicates trade with them. The study of coins is called numismatics. This is a general knowledge question, children. You should be knowing that the study of coins is called numismatics. And the pattern, like first picture shows you the gold coin, second picture shows you about the silver coins of the time period of Mughal period. Okay. Now let's see about another source of the knowledge what we have got about the medieval period, that is the literary sources. Let's see about autobiographies and biographies. Okay, autobiographies means a person when writes about himself and he is writing about his own things, that is known as autobiography. And biography means when some other person is writing about any one character, any one person, that is known as biography. So the most important autobiographies are Babar Nama, which was written by Babar himself, Tozuk-e-Jahangir by Jahangir himself, and Futuhat-e-Firoz Shahi, which was written by Firoz Shah Tughlaq himself. Okay, so these are the autobiographies. Now let's see what were the biographies, and the well-known books of this period are Prithvi Raj Raso by Chand Bardai. Means Chand Bardai wrote down about the life of the time period of Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Okay. Then Humayun Nama was written by Gulbadan Begum, and Akbar Nama and Ain-e-Akbari was written by Abul Fazl. This was Abul Fazl wrote down everything about Akbar's life, his childhood days, about his younger age, and his conflicts, decisions, his victories, his family, all these things Abul Fazl wrote down about Akbar. Now let's see about the chronicles. A chronicle is a record of the rule of the kings, and it describes life at court. Important chronicles are Raj Tarangani by Kalhan, Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi by Ziauddin Barani, Tehqiqat-e-Hind by Al-Biruni, and Tughlaqnama by Amir Khosrow. So, chronicles are actually the appreciations which are being written by another person of the time period when they spent along with that particular king. That is known as the chronicles, means record of the kings, and it describes the life at court, what they have seen when they were over there. Now, travelogues, the last topic. Travelogue means an account written by a traveler. Any person who came to any other country and he write down about the things which he has seen. So, being a foreigner, he is writing. So, many Muslims and European travelers visited India during this period. Like Ibn Battuta, he wrote down Rehla, in which he described about the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Same way, Abdul Razzaq visited the kingdom of Vijayanagar, and Al-Baruni came to India with Mahmud of Ghazni in the 11th century. He mastered Sanskrit and wrote a scientific treatise called Tehqiqat-e-Ind. So this completes the topic of the first chapter, tracing changes in the medieval period. Hope you all have understood, and we will meet you in the second chapter of history later on. Thank you, and God bless you all, children.